Hey everyone, I'm just going to give it a few minutes and see if some more people sign on. It's 1 o'clock and we are here for Mobile Mondays. So I'm so excited to be here with you guys to talk about new construction, your experience with new construction, and some of the best practices that are there. So I did get one question that somebody had sent in earlier, and that was about could a builder use your home site for a dumping ground or to put materials on? And the answer is yes. You don't own that home site until you close on it. So typically, they had also mentioned that there wasn't a permit yet. A permit process could take anywhere from 6 to 10 weeks, depending upon the jurisdiction that you're in, the county, the town, and inspectors. If it was a custom build and they had to design the plans, or if it's a production builder. She had also mentioned that there were some special price requests that they were waiting on. So they can use it for concrete, for putting things on up until it's cleared, really up until the day you close on it. As long as it's fine by the time you close on it, it shouldn't be a problem. But here's the biggest thing with communication with builders and communication. Did they set the expectation for you when you went under contract, either with you as a buyer or for your buyers? If they didn't, then certainly bring it up. Ask what they're using the home site for. Are they using it for dirt? Are they using it for trash? Are they using it for a concrete washout area? Just ask them. And if they are, the other thing you want to make sure is that you find out what are they going to do to prepare that dirt before they start building on it. Are they going to clean it up? Are they going to take all the concrete out of it? So it's a fair question to ask them, and to know exactly what they're going to do with that dirt. Of course, they have to treat it for termites and things like that and grade it to the right amount. So just communicate with them, ask them what their intention is, and then go from there. And always, always, always get it in writing. Either follow up a conversation with an email or get an addendum, because very often in new construction, staff changes. So the builder you may have spoken to could get another job, could move somewhere else, or the salesperson for that matter. So the biggest thing is right now, at least in Wake County, I can't speak for the whole state, but right now we have 56% of our inventory is new construction over 400,000. So it makes it really hard for buyers that are looking around 300 or less in this county to find something. It goes on the market really quick and it sells really quick. So you should try to do new construction with your buyers. It's my favorite thing to do. I think it's really rewarding, but let's talk about some of the best practices right now. So number one is you always want to make sure that you are attending the new construction neighborhood with your buyer. I know sometimes they go rogue and they want to go and look at things, but always set the precedence when you're meeting with a buyer, if they're looking at doing new construction, to set the precedence to make sure that when they go into that sales center, they tell the on-site agent there that they have you as a buyer's agent. Make sure you call ahead to that site if possible and register your client, because there is procuring cause, so you need to be there with them, or at least let the on-site agent know that they're represented. I always tell my clients, if they go into a neighborhood, to make sure when they fill out that registration card that they put my name down and my contact information. This way the builder won't be contacting them individually. Hello, Miss Cassandra. Thanks for joining us. Also, the second thing you want to make sure is that you are doing your job as a buyer's agent. You don't just let your buyers go to a resale home and look at it themselves and make a decision on what they're doing. So you want to make sure that you are attending all of the meetings with new construction, not just the contract writing appointment, but also the pre-construction meeting. You also want to go to the studio with them. You want to hold their hands the entire way. Framing inspection and framing walkthrough is so important to be there with your buyer, as well as going to the final walkthrough at the end. So you want to make sure that you're being there to support them. You want to make sure that before you write the contract that you get a copy of it from the builder, because builder contracts are pretty one-sided. They're written to protect the builder, not so much your buyer. And we have an obligation to make sure that we understand the contract as well, and that it's getting explained to the buyer so that they're not disappointed. The biggest things that happen during new construction to disappoint a buyer, 99.5% of the time, is communication. There's some sort of communication breakdown. So keep that in mind, that you're communicating with the builder, you're communicating with the salesperson, and anybody else that's within the transaction, even the lender. So one of the best practices that I started doing, it seems to be working really well, and you guys can do this too. I have a plethora of videos that I have done for new construction. So when a buyer goes under contract, it's at least a 6-month period that you're working with them from start to finish. Some builders a little bit more, some builders a little bit less. So during that 8-week period where there's nothing going on, they're so excited, they're under contract, I have a series of videos that I send out. Number one is, congratulations, you're under contract. The next step is going to be you have to get your deposit money in, and you have to set up your studio appointment to pick out all of your selections. Make sure they understand that anything structural has to be done in the beginning of the contract, because that's what's going to go to the permit. So I send them a little video about that, to think about those things even prior to going under contract. Then once they're under contract, we talk about studio selections, and we talk about choosing options that are for them. And, builders have standard features that they put in the home, and then they also have, level 5 granite or level 10 granite that might cost them another $10,000. You want to set the precedence for them when you have to resell this home, that $10,000 piece of granite, they're not going to get that value out of it when they resell their home. It's just granite to an appraiser. They don't have different levels of granite. So you want to make sure you set those expectations. And I do that with little videos throughout that 8-week process while they are waiting for a permit. Then I send another video about keeping up with the loan program, that you want to make sure they're doing what they need, either with the builder's lender or with your own personal lender, that they're getting things done. Then we talk about it takes time to get a permit, and that they're going to drive by their home site and they're not going to see anything happening, and they're going to be upset. To have patience and to let them know that it's a process, and encourage them to go on the town websites. Different towns have websites that you can see when the permit was filed, and you can watch the stage that is in. Have them get a little bit excited about that. And then we talk about, the next video would be a pre-construction meeting, and how important it is. It's so important that both parties, if there's a couple buying the home, that they are there at this pre-construction meeting, because pretty much it's on paper till they start building. So you want to really express the importance of them. They will have to take off of work and attend these meetings to talk about their house. So most of it is communication. And although we as agents understand the building process and what has to happen, some of these buyers don't. I also tell them that these homes are built by humans, and humans are not perfect, so they cannot expect their home to be perfect along the way. Let them know that there is going to be mistakes happen. There's going to be broken windows. There's going to be errors, but it's all in how you handle these errors and handle these mistakes that will make your process smooth. Another thing I do is I stop by on occasion and I take pictures. Makes for a really nice gift to give the buyer when you're sending them pictures of the process as their house go through. It's kind of like watching a child grow on a much smaller scale. So keep these things in mind when you're doing new construction. Also, one of my pet peeves when I teach new construction classes, since I was an onsite agent for so many years, don't make it difficult for the onsite agent. They know more than you. They know more than you about the property that they're selling, and they only have one opportunity to sell your client a home. So when you walk in for the first time with your client, let the sales agent do their job. Let them explain the community to your buyer. Let them explain the deposit process and how it works. And God forbid, if your client is ready to sign a contract, don't stop them and say, hey, let me show you 20 more houses. Let the agent help them. Let the agent show you what is going on, and let them sell the home for you and hold their hand along the way. It's one of the easiest commissions that you can earn. And sometimes the on-site agents need your help. So be nice to them, respect them, and let them do the talking and let them inform you of the neighborhood. You also want to make sure you're asking the right questions. You want to make sure that you ask them for a plot plan. You want to make sure that you ask them for any HOA things that are important to that neighborhood. You want to make sure that you walk the home site with them. Very often, new construction agents don't walk the home site. You want to make sure that they show you, hey, here's the setback. So I have a bag in my car and I keep 4 little cones and I keep a 100-foot tape measure in there, and we go to the home site and we say, okay, the setback is 25 feet. So you measure 25 feet, put a cone there as the one corner of the house. How wide is the house? Then put the second cone. And you could sort of stand in those 4 corners and say, hey, here's your front door. Here's approximately how big your backyard will be. Make sure they understand everything that's going on in new construction. And if you do that, you'll have a great process and your clients will recommend you without hesitation every time. So does anybody have any questions? Thanks you all for joining me. I see Michelle Marinari, hey girl, and Maurice Brown. Do you guys have any questions that you'd like to ask? I'll just wait a minute if any questions pop up. Okay, I guess not. My 10 minutes is up. That was a lot of fun, guys. Thanks so much for the support. And if you ever have any questions, feel free to send me a Facebook message or call me or, send me an email, chris@chriscuddy.com. Thank you guys for joining in. Have a great day.